What's going on, Browns fans? Welcome into the Cleveland Browns Report by Chat Sports. Matthew Peterson here, answering questions from our loyal subscribers here at the channel. Make sure to subscribe if you are not already. And today's show is being filmed during our live show every Thursday at 4 Eastern. So if you have a question for a future mailbag, join us next Thursday at 4 o'clock Eastern to get your question on screen. Like Gregory H., who's always the first one at our live shows, asking, I don't think OBJ will come back to Cleveland. Thoughts? I don't think so either, Gregory. I do believe that all 32 NFL GMs in about 3 weeks or so will do their due diligence, will make a phone call, and we'll see and check in with Odell Beckham Jr., but I don't see OBJ returning to Cleveland either. It's a fun rumor mill, fan board thing to talk about, but no, to me, it doesn't feel like it's going to be a match. Appreciate the question, though, Gregory. Zachary Wolf, next up on the show. Are we worried that Tua is undefeated if he's played the whole game? Guys, Tua is, having a really good season this year. Like, if you do blind QB resume between Tua and Justin Herbert, Tua wins in a landslide. Tua also has a very good record. So, am I worried about Tua? Yeah, I am, to be honest with you guys, because Tua has been very good this season when healthy. So, I think the Browns should be worried about Tua, especially because, maybe not even especially, but they've been so Jekyll and Hyde. Like, it doesn't make sense that the Browns have played horrible defense against Joe Flacco, but yet they shut down Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson. I mean, think about it this way. Joe Flacco scored 31 points against the Browns in one game. Jackson and Burrow combined for 33 points. So, yeah, I would be worried about Tua. I'd be more worried about these guys named Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, who have been torching the secondary every team they played. In the Browns secondary, well, it's been suspect at times this year. Greeny is next up on the show. What is your updated record prediction? Good question, Greeny. Great question, producer Patrick says. So, the Browns are currently 3-5 entering the bye, and in fact, we can look at the remaining schedule here. Good job by producer Patrick Seatman getting this ready for you guys here. They've got some winnable games after the bye. They have to go 2-1 in my eyes before Deshaun Watson returns for any shot to make the playoffs. That is the only way I see the Browns making the playoffs if Deshaun Watson inherits at worst a 5-6 team. Ultimately, I think the Browns are probably going to be going, I want to be that homer and say 10-7 with just a loss against the Bills and a loss against the Bengals or the Ravens or maybe a trap game against the Commanders. Is there a sneaky 500 team, 4-4? But I think Browns go 9-8. Now, 9-8 might get it done this year because the NFL is very top-heavy. You've got some really good teams, and then you got like 50 feet of dirt. And then there's a lot of other teams there. But what is your record prediction? I'll go 9-8 right now. I want to believe that they can finish above 500. They can start to turn a corner on the season. But I think we might be having conversations in January of that Jets game ultimately will haunt the Browns for the rest of the season because they had to have that win. Same for the Falcons and the Chargers, all games with fourth quarter leads here. Super chat flying in from Christopher Vestpoint. Appreciate the super chat, Chris. Should Myles be disciplined by the team for his pattern of unsafe driving, especially? No. He should not be disciplined by the team for speeding, something we all do. I'm not going to discipline Myles Garrett for speeding on a wet road and running into an accident. Sorry, Chris. I appreciate the super chat, but no, I would not be disciplining Myles Garrett. Jacob Carnes, good to see you, man. Deshaun Watson coming back will help the Cleveland Browns a lot. Fact. This is true. And let me tell you why, too. Jacoby Brissett has done a very good job for the Browns filling in. I know that the number one calling card for Brissett was he doesn't turn it over, and unfortunately Brissett has had some very untimely turnovers in the fourth quarter. But Jacoby Brissett, I think all Browns fans can agree, the number one hair-pulling thing with him is that when pressure gets to him, he does not do a good job of evading pressure and slipping out of tackles all that much. He tends to go down a little easy. Deshaun Watson, the guy's athletic. The guy can move around the pocket and can be a nightmare for defenses to bring down. And that's going to extend plays. And you know who are great receivers for quarterbacks that extend plays? Amari Cooper and Donovan Peoples-Jones and David Bell. who does a great job of sitting in zones, finding open spots, and working his way back to the quarterback. Gregory H., next one up on the show here. What would it take for you to sign Suh? He's got to be cheap now if he's in shape. That's the big question that Gregory raises. He's got to be in shape. Some of these players, it's November. They have not played football since last January. They might be having a couple Krispy Kreme donuts every single week. They might not be in football shape here. But for me, if he is in shape and he's willing to do a vet minimum with some incentives, hell yeah, bring him to Berea tomorrow. Because the Browns' current defensive interior room sucks. It does. It had a better game against the Bengals, and I'll clap it up for them for that. But let's not stretch one game against the Bengals into just being okay with this for the rest of the season. If Suh is in shape and he'll do vet minimum, I really hope Andrew Berry is not too stubborn to wait and see how the Jordan Elliott experiment works out for the rest of the season. It's not working right now. You got to make a change. Scorpion, good to see you here on the show. Next one up. Should we want to think about extending Ethan Pocic or maybe wait for Nick Harris? Very good question. I mean, I talked about this on our show earlier this week of hand up. I was beating the drum of get J.C. Treader back once Nick Harris went down. Was not confident in Pocic. I scrolled back on Twitter for Seahawks tweets about Pocic. They hated that guy. And I was like, I don't want that guy to be our starting center. But he has been a top 5 center this year. So credit to this Browns offensive line, this coaching staff for getting him to where he is right now. I think right now, it's not like Nick Harris had this job for life, right? We're talking about a day 3 pick who was just being groomed to take over from J.C. Treader. I think Ethan Pocic is not going to get a midseason contract extension, but I do believe he will be at the top of Andrew Berry's priority list to be re-signed this offseason. All right, we're always trying to get some new subscribers here at the channel so we can grow and do more things. But right now, I just want to give some love to our current subscribers. And if you do not have notifications on, I'm going to remind you to go ahead and do so that you never miss breaking Browns news. Or when we have our live shows every Thursday, you get a notification so you don't forget and miss out on joining in on the fun. So hit that bell icon and join in if you have not already. Get those noties on and join the Noti gang. Soul Train next on the show. Is Martin Emerson what we thought Greedy Williams was supposed to be? Good question, Soul Train. I don't think so, because Martin Emerson was picked with the aspirations of, well, all right, let me back it up for a moment here. There are a lot of things that are measured when looking at players during the pre-draft process, the combine, right? Hand size for quarterbacks and things like that. I think cornerback measurements are probably the most important because cornerbacks already are dealt a bad hand before every snap. And so they need to overcome the things that are already in front of them. And for Martin Emerson, the size he has, the wingspan, a quarter of an inch for a cornerback is a big difference between a receiver catching it and a DB knocking it down. And so I think that was what Martin Emerson was picked for was, hey, he's got the intangibles. We'll find him in round 3, and we'll shape him into be a CB2 come his second or third season. What's been phenomenal is he got tossed into the fire week 1, and he has gotten better, I think, every single week. LD, what's up, man? Trade Adam Thielen and Kieran Williams for a 4th-round pick and Sutton. I'm a little confused on who the Sutton is. I know one Sutton, Cortland Sutton, so LD, you lost me, buddy. As for trading for Adam Thielen just in general, though, I mean, he's pretty old at this point, and he's had some good seasons with the Vikings lately, but I'm going to pass on that. Sorry, I don't really get the question fully. Bobo Beast, is there a chance we beat Miami or Buffalo? Yeah, there is a chance. The chance, I would say, is any given Sunday, right? No one thinks that these teams are going to be losing. Like, for example, no one thought the Jags were going to beat the Bills last year. But it happens, right? Teams go on the road and knock off favorites and shock them. And before it happens, it seems unimaginable. And then once the loss happens, just like when the Jets came to Cleveland and beat the Browns, or went to Green Bay and beat the Packers, then it makes a little bit of sense, although the Browns one doesn't. Now, Buffalo, I think they might run the table and win out the rest of the season, to be honest with you guys. They are that good. I think the only way you beat the Bills is if you catch them sleeping. But the Bills, they don't look like a team that wants to, kick the teeth in of their opponent. They look like a team that wants to embarrass their opponent and beat them so badly that they get their coaches fired. That's what the Bills look like. The Dolphins, they got a game this week, so they'll be not as rested as the Browns would be for that matchup. But yes, I do believe there is a chance. Now, I do know there is a chance you can win these bets if you make your picks at BetUS. Check it out, chatsports.com/bet. Promo code Browns125. Get that deposit bonus. And listen, here's a great deal that here at Chat Sports, we are offering you guys. A free jersey. No hoops to jump through. If you get started at chatsports.com/bet, promo code Browns125, you sign up, deposit $100. Get that 125% deposit bonus, $225 in total to play with. Make your first bet. Email us, jersey@chatsports.com, and boom. All we need from you is, you want a Deshaun Watson jersey, home or away, a Myles Garrett jersey, medium, large, XL. Pick the jersey, pick the size. When you get started with those 5 little steps we showed on screen just a moment ago, it's completely, there's no catch here, all right? You just got to get started with our sportsbook partner. Email us, jersey@chatsports.com, and go to your next Cleveland Browns game rocking a brand new Browns jersey on us here at Chat Sports. Get it done before the end of Sunday, and you won't miss out on this deal. All right, another super chat coming in from Christopher. What's up, man? Super impressed with Jacoby and how he has handled his role in press conferences. Such a nice change from Baker. He seems like a genuine good guy. Christopher, I'm going to clap it up for you right now because that is a spot-on take right there. Jacoby Brissett was signed to start for X amount of games, didn't know at the time, and then give the job over no matter how he played. Let that kind of like sink in. You get to the NFL, you are the most competitive guy in your gym class in middle school, on your high school football team, and on your college team. And so for Brissett to understand the role he was taking and be fine with that, he has done a stand-up job. And honestly, I talked about this on our show earlier this week. I think Jacoby Brissett, in the 11 games he'll play this season, will be a top 5 Browns quarterback since 2000. That's a very sad statement to make, but I think it's true. Ryan, next up on the show. I think that Chubb and Ford are the future and bring in a cheap backup for 2023. Yes, that was probably what Andrew Berry had in mind when he drafted Jerome Ford was, hey, I get 4 years of control on a cheaper contract compared to going to free agency for Kareem Hunt. I'll draft another running back to be my RB3. I love what Jerome Ford can do out of in the pass protection game. In the passing game. His rookie season, I want to see him learn and just be better at pass blocking, which is a big part of being a running back. People forget you throw the ball more than you run the ball in the NFL. So if you can't pass protect, you won't have a spot on the field very often. But I do agree, Chubb and Ford are definitely the most likely candidates to be the RB1 and 2 come next season. Farmer Spratt, what's up, man? Do you think if Watson plays like he used to, that we are Super Bowl contenders next year? Abso-freaking-lutely. That was the whole reason of the trade here, was that you had all these other pieces, but Andrew Berry was not sold on Baker Mayfield. And Andrew Berry, I know right now maybe he isn't the most beloved person with how this season has gone thus far in some of his decisions that aren't planning out, but he got one very spot on, and that was do not sink your teeth into Baker. Because Baker has been bad in Carolina. Healthy. How many people said, watch out for a healthy Baker this year? PJ Walker's better than Baker. So, I don't know why I talked so much about Baker, but you get the gist here. Deshaun Watson with this roster, yeah, they are Super Bowl contenders, no doubt about it. Last question coming in from Gregory H. After that contract issue, are we sure Deion Jones is actually comfortable in Cleveland? I'm not sure of anything. You're right, where Deion Jones agreed to have the last couple of years of his contract nullified, so this is the last year of his deal, making him a free agent at the end of the season. I'll put it this way, from Deion Jones, when you're already maybe kind of fading a bit in your career, it's probably not the wisest move to opt to go to free agency sooner. So I'm not sure that he is having a discomfort issue with Cleveland. He also wasn't really wanted that much in Atlanta at the end. So he's probably happy that there's a team out there that wanted to bring him on. All right, if you made it to the end of the video, give me a Go Browns. We did this not too long ago, and it was really fun to see how many people spammed F Pitt for reaching the end of the video. This time, I want to see the end of the video squad drop a Go Browns in the comments below.